All right. Well, hello, this is Jock Mountain Dream Home Inspections. And today we are preparing to talk about radon. January is National Radon Awareness Month. And today I got on a specialist who's going to share with us about radon, what it is, why it's important to know about it. And I'll just let her introduce herself. So Miss Karen, you go ahead and take it from here.
Okay, sure. Hi, Jacques. I'm so glad that we're doing this video today because radon, you're doing a really great service for your customers to make them aware of radon so that they're purchasing a healthy home. So it's very important. And I'm a certified radon measurement professional. I've been doing this about 7 years. My company is North Georgia Radon Testing. And I got started mostly because our home had elevated radon levels.
Okay.
When we had that mitigated and now we have a safe level, and I feel, it's peace of mind. I feel a lot more comfortable, even though we're not actually living in our basement.
Okay.
But radon is coming up through the home. So that's kind of how I got started. I wanted to make sure other people are aware of it as well.
Okay. How did you guys find out you had radon, or what part of town do you live in that was a concern?
Sure. I live in Houston, which is in Barrow County, kind of northeast of Atlanta.
Okay.
5 minutes northeast of Atlanta. And my husband is a home inspector as well.
Mm-hmm.
He
Shout out to Hank.
Hank, yes. And so he had learned about radon, and we had someone come in and test our home for radon.
Okay.
And our level was about 5.5 at the time. This was about 12 years ago. And
okay.
we had it mitigated at that point.
Okay. So why don't you go ahead and tell us what radon is, where it comes from, and why was 5 that level important? That number.
Sure. So radon is a radioactive gas. It is found everywhere, inside your home, outside, and it's in every building that you go into. The level outside is about 0.4. The national average of radon in a home is 1.3, and this is all in measurements of picocuries. So the EPA recommends that if your radon level is at 4.0 or above, that you should have your home mitigated, because that is a very high level. And so I was above that level at 5.
Okay. And so what does radon do? Why was that a big deal that it was at 5?
Radon is linked to lung cancer. It's the second leading cause of lung cancer after smoking.
Okay.
Are approximately 21,000 deaths a year in the U.S. linked to radon. 1 out of every 4 homes in the Atlanta area has an elevated radon level at 4.0 or above. So radon happens when uranium in your soil breaks down on its way to lead. And so it lets off a gas into the air. This gas attaches to dust particles in your home or wherever you are, and you breathe this in, and those particles attach to in your lungs and can cause lung cancer.
Okay.
It's odorless, it's tasteless, you can't see it, smell it. The only way to know if you have it is to test.
Okay. And the test that you all do, how long does that test take?
I do a test of 48 hours. You do not want to have a test less than 48 hours at minimum. In some cases, I've gone longer, just if someone's just living in the home and would like maybe a 3-day test, I might do a longer test. Also, depending on if there are extreme weather conditions, I might want to extend it another day as well. But 48 hours is the minimum test that I do.
Okay. Like, do you bring in some type of huge vacuum cleaner that's going to be sitting in my living room, or?
I do not. I have a very small device, and actually, this is the device that I use. It's very small.
Okay.
Put it on a tripod. I place it in the lowest livable level of the home space. So when I get in a basement, I would not put it in a closet or a utility type room where the HVAC system is. Nothing like that. I put it in a room that could be finished to live in if it's not already finished.
Okay, got you. And so you just bring in the small device, set it up for 48 hours. Does it give off some type of smell or something?
No, it just has a little blinking light that right here to show you that it's going. It makes no sound. It doesn't do anything. It's just I mean, as far as annoying people in the room, it just takes a
Right.
sample of the air
Okay.
the hour. So with a 48-hour test, I'll have 48 readings that I can look at that we can take an average from.
Okay. And so in 48 hours, you come back, pick it up, you get the results, and then you let the customer know whether it was high or low, correct?
I do, and I will have results that same day. So that's
Okay.
convenient as someone who's purchasing a home. They can have immediate results.
Okay. Now, what if I already own a home and I've never heard of radon and maybe I want to get it tested? Can I still do that?
Absolutely, and you should. Every home should be tested.
Okay.
Right.
Is there a time frame? Do you
I would do
recommend?
the same thing. I would do a 48-hour test. Um, they the only requirements in your home during this test is to have closed conditions.
Okay.
That means is you want to keep your doors and windows to the outside closed as much as possible during that test. You can go in and out as you normally would. We encourage you to run the HVAC as you normally would for the season that you're in.
Mhm.
You don't want to close it off any doors or anything. You want to make sure you have good circulation with the air in the home, and it definitely should be tested. Everyone should know what their radon level is.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. So let's just say, I've done radon tests before and it comes back 12. Like it's, 4 is the number, but it comes back 10, 12. What if I have some astronomical number? Like, should I be moving out, putting on a COVID mask? What should I do if it's really high?
Well, I just had a test this past week that was 12. Uh,
Okay.
so so what you want to do is call a radon mitigation company. You want to have this fixed, as
Okay.
possible. You don't have to get scared and move out of the home or anything like that.
Okay.
You definitely want to call a mitigation company of a certified professional, and there's a website that you can look on to find that person. To make sure that it's done correctly, because I have seen in the past 7 years some systems that have been installed that actually make it worse. Different things that they do. So you want to make sure it's done right.
Okay. So if I jumped online, I probably wouldn't know who was good or bad. You would have a recommendation for
You
mitigation?
definitely do. There are
Okay.
a couple people that I recommend every time because I know that they do good work. I've heard from my customers how much they've like the work that they've done. And I do a follow-up test usually for these radon mitigators and can make sure that the level has been reduced. You always want to have a test done again after the mitigation system is installed to make sure that that the problem is solved.
Okay, so what about, and I've had this happen before. What about if somebody's borderline, like their test comes back like right at 3.7, 3.8, not quite 4, but
Right,
right there at the line.
right. Well, at 4.0, your exposure is still the EPA says that at 200. I'm sorry, at 4.0 that your exposure to radiation is the equivalent of 200 X-rays a year or 8 cigarettes a day.
Oh, wow.
4.0. So you want to get it as low as you can. You're not going to be able to get zero. There is no zero level of radon.
Okay.
But as close to 2.0 is what I always recommend because the EPA says that if the level is between 2 and 4, that you should still consider mitigation at that point between 2 and 4. So the closer you are to 2, the better, and it also depends on if this is in a basement that you're just
Mhm.
storage. Maybe you want to test the level upstairs.
Okay.
About half every level you go up. So if the radon level is at say 4 in the basement, it's probably 2 upstairs. But you want to test to make sure.
Mhm.
But that's just kind of probably make you feel a little more comfortable. You
All
know,
right, say that one more time. 4 is like 8 cigarettes a
8
day.
cigarettes a day or 200 chest X-rays a year.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah. And it's not
Okay.
that anybody really wants to be exposed to. So that's why there's just so many people that don't know anything about radon. So this is serious. This is a important.
All right, so let me ask you this. So what if I am at 4.0 and I'm a cigarette smoker too? So I'm kind of compounding it, right?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Oh, wow.
the chances are even greater for lung cancer. I mean, you're taking a much higher risk.
Okay, gotcha. And there's nothing you can do on your own to stop radon from coming into the house. Like you can't caulk openings or spray foam around pipes, right?
That can help, but that's still, there's always going to be radon coming in and cracks that you can't even see.
Right.
If you see large openings in your foundation, you should fill those in anyway, because if a radon mitigation system is installed and that's actually pulling air out from under the foundation, if you have large cracks and openings in the foundation, that's just going to pull more air from that space, that inside space.
Right.
You're going to want to fill in, and a lot of radon mitigators will go around and caulk those joints and different crevices, openings in the basement.
Right. So basically the radon mitigation company, they're sucking the radon from under the home and then blowing it up past the roof, right?
Yes, they are. They use there's a fan that's attached, I'm trying to find the exact wording here I have on my,
Let's make it simple for the people at home.
yeah, I'm sorry. They call it subslab depressurization. You're right. Make it simple. But it is simple. It's the most common system that is used, where there will be a one or more suction pipes inserted into the slab of the foundation of the home, and into the crushed rock or soil, whatever is under the foundation. And then there is an inline fan that is located outside the home, connected to this pipe.
Right.
Air out.
All right. And a couple of more questions and we will let you go. Any particular area in like Metro Atlanta that are higher than other that maybe some people should be more aware of if they live in a certain county or city?
Right. There is a map that the University of Georgia has put together that you can go on their website and find, where it shows counties that are have been found to have more higher levels than others. But it's just going to be based on homes that were tested.
Okay.
Home could have a high level. Your level could be 2 and the house next door could be 5. I mean, it doesn't matter. Location does not. Radon is found in every state. We have some things that kind of lead us to think that some homes may have more radon is when we see a lot of rocks in the yard, because that there's just a little more uranium in the soil at those homes.
Right.
Yeah.
I looked at the map and I saw that like maybe Fulton County, Gwinnett,
yes.
Definitely were higher. DeKalb,
Metro Atlanta.
The Metro Atlanta area had higher levels of radon. Perfect.
Right.
Okay. All right. And so let me see. Let me just recap. So we know what radon is. Comes from breakdown of uranium, comes up into the home, attached to dust particles. You're going to breathe it in.
Right.
We want it to be less than 4.0. And if it's higher than 4.0, we want a mitigation company. Now, what about my pet? What about my dog, my cat? Are they good, or can radon affect them as well?
It certainly does. They're breathing in those same dust particles, and they're actually breathing a little faster. Children, their heart rate, everything is faster than adults. They're breathing more of it. So it can affect them in the same way that it would anybody, adults or humans versus pets. We're all breathing it in.
Okay. Now see, that one I didn't know. Okay. All right. And so let's see. So you can test for remediation. We know for borderline. And yeah, that was it. And how can the people contact you? What is your contact information, like your website, phone number? So if somebody wants this done, they can.
Sure. I can be called or text at 770-235-7704. I have an email of northgeorgiaradon@gmail.com, just all spelled out, northgeorgiaradon@gmail.com. And my website is ngaradontesting.com.
All right. And give us the phone number one more time.
770-235-7704. And my name is Karen Spindler.
Excellent. So, ladies and gentlemen, get your home. Because,
absolutely.
Because we're coming up on January, and January is National Radon Awareness Month. So we just want to get the information out here to you so that you know about it. Real quick story, Karen. I did a mansion in 2020, 12,000 square foot mansion, fully finished. They wanted the radon test. The radon test came back at 14.
Oh, boy.
And this is a 1.7 something million dollar home.
Yep.
So I told the lady about it, referred her to a mitigation company. And she called back about 3 weeks later and she said, hey, I got a question for you. She said, my sister bought a home earlier this year and I asked her, did she get a radon test? And she said she had a home inspection, but the home inspector didn't offer her a radon test. She said, why didn't he do that? I said, well, I don't know. I don't know the guy. She said, well, isn't radon killing people? Doesn't it cause lung cancer? I said, well, yes, ma'am. She said, well, I think he should have offered that. I said, well, yeah. So at that point, that kind of stuck with me, like, don't offer it when I think people need it, or offer it when I think maybe they can pay for it, but just put it out there for everybody.
Right.
Because you never know who may need it, when they may need it. And I think, you know, I got introduced to radon years ago in a home inspection meeting when they told us about this lady who died from lung cancer who had never smoked.
Right.
You know? And so I just felt like this is something people really need to know, whether you own a home. I've just been telling everybody, if you live somewhere long-term, I don't care if you're renting a house. If you've been there 5 or 6 years, get it tested. You're
Absolutely.
it. So I'm thinking everybody needs it. And so I appreciate you getting on. Shout out to Hank and you guys and your home inspection company. You know, big Hank.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes, that's the thing, is that every home, it doesn't matter if it's a brand new home or it's 60 years old.
Right.
Every home needs to be tested. So, and that's great that you're putting that information out there for people, because there's so many people that have never heard of radon. So you're educating the public and saving lives.
Yes, exactly. All right, well, Miss Karen, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.